Hey there, I'm Carolyn Perron, and buckle up because I've got a tale that'll make your skin crawl. Picture this. It's 1970, and my family stumbles upon this quaint, sprawling farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. It's got that rustic, old-world charm, you know, the kind that you think is perfect for a big family like ours. Me, my husband Roger, and our 5 girls were all set for a peaceful life there. But let's just say, things didn't quite go as planned. From the get-go, this place gave off a weird vibe. We're talking doors slamming shut when no wind's blowing, our stuff moving from where we left it, the kind of stuff that makes you laugh nervously and look at each other like, "Did you see that too?" We tried to brush it off, thinking it's just what old houses do, but deep down, we all felt something was off. Then, there's this night, we're all around the dinner table, and it's all warm and cozy. Out of nowhere, it turns freezing, like midwinter kind of cold, and this rotten egg smell just fills the room. The girls' faces drop, and we all just sit there, stunned. That's when I start thinking, okay, this isn't normal. Things escalated pretty quick after that. At night, the house turned into a whole different beast. The girls would be in their beds, and they'd hear whispers, feel something brushing past them. One night, one of my daughters screams bloody murder. We all run to her, and she's there, crying, saying she saw this figure standing over her bed. It's happening to all of them, and it's like the house is messing with us, especially after dark. Each of my girls had their own chilling tales to tell. April, the youngest, would spend hours chatting and giggling with an invisible friend she called Cindy, believed to be the spirit of a young girl. But not all our ghostly visitors were so benign. Christine played a terrifying version of hide and seek with an unseen presence, always feeling watched and once finding herself locked in a closet, screaming for help. It's not just them, though. I start having these crazy dreams. I'm seeing things from the past, like I'm time traveling in my sleep. I'm seeing people who lived here, events that happened. And then, during the day, I'd feel these pushes and pulls like hands on me, but there's no one there. It's like the house is trying to tell me its story, and it's not a happy one. It wasn't just the eerie whispers in the night or the shadowy figures in the corners. It was more personal, more physical. I'd wake up with bruises, shaped like gripping fingers on my arms. One morning, a sharp pain shot through my leg, and I found a puncture wound, bleeding as if pricked by an unseen hand with a sewing needle. It was as if the house itself wanted to mark me, claim me. We're all freaked out, so we call in Ed and Lorraine Warren. You know, the paranormal investigator types. They come over, and right away, they're like, "Yep, you've got spirits." They tell us about all the tragic stuff that happened in the house over the years. They say there's this one spirit, Bathsheba, who's particularly nasty and has a thing for making our lives hell. After the Warrens try to cleanse the house, it's like we've poked a sleeping bear. The house goes wild. One night, something invisible just slams into me, leaves me with bruises. The girls are seeing things more frequently, and the whole house feels like it's under a dark cloud. The Warrens are pretty sure we're dealing with something a lot more sinister than a few restless spirits. Then comes this one night, and let me tell you, it's like living in a nightmare. Stuff's flying around. Doors are slamming so hard you'd think they'd break, and these disembodied voices are everywhere. It's chaos, pure and simple. The house feels like it's alive, and it's angry. That's when we know we've got to get out. We pack up and leave, leaving behind more than just a house. We leave behind a piece of ourselves, our sense of normal. The memories of what we went through, they stick with us. I still get these moments, waking up at night, feeling like I'm back in that house. That experience opened our eyes to a world we never knew existed, a world of unexplainable, terrifying things. To this day, our story feels like it's something out of a book, but it's real as it gets. It's a chapter in our lives that's always going to be there, always open, reminding us of that time when we lived in a house where the past wasn't just a memory, but a living, breathing part of our everyday lives. Living in that house, it's hard to describe. It's like every day, you'd wake up wondering what was going to happen next. The girls would be playing in their rooms, and suddenly they'd come running out, scared because they'd seen a figure or heard a whisper right in their ear. The atmosphere in the house was always tense, like waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it wasn't just the spooks and scares. It's how it started to affect us, you know? We were always on edge, always a little scared. Even Roger, who was always the strong, rational type, he started to feel it. He'd hear noises, see things out of the corner of his eye. We were all getting worn down, day by day. Then, there were the physical things, marks on our bodies, things we couldn't explain. Waking up with scratches or bruises, and nobody had any idea how they got there. It's like the house, or whatever lived in it, was making itself known in the most frightening ways. The Warrens, they did their best, but it felt like we were up against something huge, something ancient. They'd do their rituals, their prayers, but the activity would just spike up even more. It was a battle, and it felt like we were losing. The night we decided to leave, it was like a scene out of a horror movie. The tension had been building for weeks, and then it just exploded. The air was thick, heavy with something I can't even put into words. You could feel the malice, the anger. It wasn't just a haunting anymore, it was a confrontation. When we finally left, driving away from that house, it was a mix of relief and sadness. It's weird, but part of you gets attached, even to a place that's caused so much fear. But we knew we couldn't stay, not if we wanted to keep our sanity, our safety. In the years since, we've tried to make sense of it all. Sometimes we talk about it, trying to piece together everything that happened. It's like a puzzle, but the pieces don't quite fit. The experience changed us, made us more aware of the world, the unseen world that exists right alongside ours. So, that's our story. The time we spent in that house, it's something that's always going to be with us. It's taught us about the unknown, about fear, and about strength. The strength to face what we don't understand, and to move on, carrying the story with us. The haunting of the Perron family, it's more than just a ghost story. It's a reminder of the mysteries that exist, just beyond the veil of the everyday world.